Hello, welcome to this your channel, the band Eurofan. Text me. Slovenia was returning to the grand final last year after some years remaining in the semi-finals. The energetic and dynamic proposal offered to us by the guys at Jokerao was well presented, although the live performance seemed too modest and simple, settling for 21st place in the final ranking. It is still a good result for the Balkan country, however, taking into account that regularly struggles to get a spot among the finalists. Let's take a look now to the next artist that will take the baton and represent Slovenia on the main stage of Malmo. Let's go! For today's episode, I'm going to review the Slovenian entry for Eurovision 2024, which will be represented by singer Raiven with the song Veronika. As usual, we will start taking a look at the biography and career of this multi-talented artist before her embarking in the Eurovision experience to take place on Sweden. Sara Versky-Serman, mostly well known as Raiven, is a Slovenian opera singer and songwriter in the pop genre. She started her musical education at the age of 4, taking harp and singing classes in many conservatories and musical academies in the country's capital, Ljubljana. She has been constant in her musical education throughout the years, having achieved grades as harpist, jazz singer, and opera singer, being a mezzo-soprano. After participating in diversity of musical competitions performing the harp, with which she will gain awards and acknowledgements in classical music. She will start her musical career as an artist in 2014, releasing her first official single followed by a second single the year after. Then later, her popularity will rise in 2016 with her first participation in the former Slovenian national final Eurovisionska Melodija or EMA, which did choose the Slovenian representative at Eurovision. She will compete with the song Chernobyl, being very close to win the national final, with Manuela achieving the victory eventually, being her the Slovenian representative in the edition held on Stockholm, Sweden, as we already know. Not satisfied with the result, she will try again the following year with the song Sasha, placing third at time, 2 places behind the winner Omar Lavet, who won the competition and represented the country for the second time in the edition held on Kiev, Ukraine. That same year, she will release her debut studio album, in which all her singles released today will be included, being among them the songs with which she has competed in the Slovenian national final. She will make a third attempt 2 years later in 2019, competing with the song Chaos, placing once again in the second position close to victory, in which the duo of Sarah Crowley and Gasper Santel won that time, representing the country in the edition held on Tel Aviv, Israel. After her third participation in the national final, she will release her first EP, in which this song will be included, and then at the end of that same year, she will make a pause in her musical career to artistically develop herself as an opera singer, participating in many operas in which I can remark Hansel and Gretel by Engelbert Humperdinck, Agrippine by George Friedrich Handel, or The Barber of Seville by Gioacchino Rossini, as well as in lyric concerts both in her native country and many European countries, as part of her opera singing studies as well. In parallel with her path in the classical music world, Raiven will be once again in the national final in 2020, but this time as a member of the expert panel in charge of selecting the entries for that year. And she also had a minimal participation, performing as a interval act in the first phase of the competition, the former Elba Fresh. She will also participate in musical festivals and classical music concerts in both Slovenia and Serbia, in which she will release some singles penned by her as well. In late 2022, she will decide to resume her musical career, focusing her work in operatic pop, and that will start with the release of her second EP set for this year. It is undeniable that she is truly a widely experienced artist, by getting acknowledgement both in classical music and popular music. However, she has been lacking the opportunity to be in front of a large audience, and mostly by having been so close of living the Eurovision experience in all the time she has participated in the Slovenian national final. Let's take a look on how she is finally selected to represent her country at the contest. At first, the Slovenian public broadcaster had originally planned to organize a new national final called Misija Malmo, which will select both the artist and the song that will represent the Balkan country on Sweden, with a live final show to be held during January. In one hand, a submission period was open from mid-October through mid-November of last year for the Slovenian artists and songwriters who were interested in sending their proposals, while in the other hand, the broadcaster will also directly invite to established artists and renowned songwriters in the Slovenian musical scene. It was known from the broadcaster as well that after the deadline they had received around 100 proposals, in which later 2 expert panels, a national one and an international one, will pick the 4 finalists that will compete in the national final. Everything fine until this point, but later things change. On early December last year, it was revealed that after the evaluation of the expert panels, the broadcaster decided to discard the plans for the new national final, reverting for an internal selection for a second consecutive year. Some days after their change of plans, the broadcaster will organize a press conference in which they will announce the selection of Raiven as the Slovenian representative of MOM. We could say in this case that it was her 4th time lucky, although however we have still had to wait until January to finally know the entry. Then during the middle of this same month, during a special show produced by the broadcaster, named after the discarded national final by the way, Missy Yamondo, but the song with its accompanying official music video were released. A track loaded with mysticism and mystery. Let's take a look on how she introduces us in her musical world with her proposal. Melodically speaking, it's an alternative pop track with a dark influence, beginning with a tense call during the verses, taking more intensity during the chorus, and finally reaching its climax during the bridge and the outro. There is no doubt about the vocal abilities from Raiven, given her wide experience as an opera singer, and in particular this track showcases her versatility in the different parts of the song, vocally speaking. The lyrics have been written by Raiven herself together with a songwriting team, in which casually stands out Bojan Zbedičani, a lead singer of the group Joker Out, who represented the country last year in the edition held on Liverpool, United Kingdom. About the background behind the lyrics, it is based on the medieval tale of Veronika the Senishka, so the song is named after her in this case. This legend tells us that she falls in love with the noble Frederick of Celje, the younger son of Count Hermann II of Celje, and that they escape to get married in secret. When the Count figures out who was strongly opposed to their romance, he sent an army to find the couple. Then he locked down his son in a tower for 4 years, while he brought her to trial, accusing her of being a witch which casted a spell on his son. During the trial there were no proofs of her committing any crime, thus she was acquitted by the court. But despite of it, the count gave the order to incarcerate and kill Veronika in Neustricha Castle, by her dying by drowning inside a huge water vessel installed in the courtyard of the castle. Many elements from this tale are incorporated in a symbolic way onto lyrics while written in detail, previously translated at first. Both in the verses and the chorus, she embodies the water, representing both life and death, transparent as one's reflection in front of the mirror, which triggers passionate and fearful feelings at the same time and constantly fluctuating. Poetically speaking, Veronika will be the embodiment of the truth, like the love she professed to the Count's son, which is reflected in the song soundtrack. Here we find an interesting message, in which through Veronika's legend, it intends to reflect and transcend her story as an universal story shared by all of us, making reflection on how complex can be the human feelings, as well as how important it is to be authentic and true to ourselves, which will make us rebel against any falsehood, hate or fear. With the contest the song has, you could think that the music video can have an important role with the illustration of the legend. Let's check out in this case how it was portrayed into the official music video. In the first shot of the video there is a hand, which seems to be from Raiven, sliding one of her fingers through the water surface. When she starts to perform the first verse, there are alternate shots of a group of people falling into the water, as well as herself immersed into the water, with her head out staring in an intimidating way. Then these men start to make another water dance, which looks interesting being captured in slow motion. Before the chorus, it comes to attention a shot ahead, where she shakes the beat of Veronika with her fingers, while the underwater dance continues, and then later they are seen with some women with sand in their bodies. During the chorus, there is a shot from above, where Raiven is seen with her naked body totally painted on silver, except for her head and being her intimate parts covered with silver bay branches, being also surrounded by her dancers. More shots are witnessed with them crawling on the soil, like they were under war beings or something like that, matching with the fear feelings expressed in the lyrics. And that is notably perceived in another shot, where Raiven's head is surrounded by the hands of her dancers, which makes you shiver a little, and even it reminds a little to Medusa. In the second verse and the chorus, the dynamic is focused in the dancers surrounding Raiven, crawling with her, giving the same intimidating staring of before, and doing a sort of dance while they look to the sky. Towards the bridge, Raiven is seen trying to get on her feet, in a place where a dune and a campfire are seen. Much later towards the outro, it is seen that campfire comes from the branches of a dry bush on flames while she is making a dance, which alternate with some of the shots previously seen, remarking another one with the men underwater which are drowning, making reference to the way in which Veronika Desenishka herself died. At the end of the song, the music video then finishes with Raiven walking close to the campfire. Making a summary of the comments. I have doubts about the Slovenian entry for this year. I'm not saying that the proposal is bad or something like that, but it gives me the impression of listening an audiobook of a medieval story documentary with this song on the background. It is interesting for those who like medieval tales, mostly from the Balkans, which are not very known abroad. But out of it, I'm not feeling too enthusiastic with this proposal, and also because I was expecting something different and more interesting in the music video, much more related to the legend itself. Coming from this premise, I do not know if this could make an impact on the audience. There are not much details about the staging she will present on Momo for now. In this sense, it is unknown if she will use in some way the concept seen into a music video with contemporary dancers, or if she will take a fully different perspective. We will have a brief preview when she performs like her proposal in the Eurovision parties, where she has confirmed her attendance, to have an idea of her vocal performance at least. Apart from that, we will have to wait until we see her on the main stage of Momo. And you? What do you think about the Slovenian entry for this year? Let me know your comments down below to start some discussion. And this is it for today's episode. If this video has been of your taste, give a like and also take a few seconds to subscribe to my channel if you have not done it yet, enable notifications and find me through my social media. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.